welcome to the Financial Fox. Today we will be talking about post-quantum encryption with Jean-Philippe Beaudet, CTO at the Canadian company ZeU, who has just filed a new patent for post-quantum encryptions for universal applications. Hi, JP, how are you?
Very good, and you?
Yes, I'm fine. So this is basically a groundbreaking news for ZeU.
I'm very proud to announce it. I've worked at least a good 4 or 5 weeks on this one. And I believe that this is a really groundbreaking innovation because it redefines the way encryption is done in the sense that there is mutations of key. So in this case, we play with the state of the key. And so two or more people that wish to communicate needs to synchronize their own encryption keys to be able to communicate, which leaves a very, very, very short windows of opportunity to be able to crack the key. And just the power of encryption of the key is at least a billion times more than AES.
What I wanted to understand was a little bit about how it really works and the mechanism behind the algorithm. Do you maybe want to give us an example so we can have a clear understanding on how really this new encryption plays?
Absolutely. Well, in the case of, it is based on the knowledge of what I call a codex and an encryption key. So the codex is created from an encryption key. So basically what people do, let's say Alice and Bob wants to communicate, what they will start by doing will be exchanging numbers that come from Alice and numbers that come from Bob. Ideally, they could be a random number generation, but technically they could be any form of number. They could be random, pseudo-random, they could take it from anywhere. Both Alice and Bob has created what we could call a common reference. And when they have this common reference, they can start speaking. And what they have also is an encryption key that serves as a first initial state. So the first initial state is a key that is 2048 digits, and that are symbols between 0 and 90. So there's like 90 type of symbols. So these keys are very, very solid. What Alice and Bob will do from there is just send message, any type of message. It could be text, it could be video, it could be image, it could be any type. And byte by bytes, what is going to happen is it's going to be encoded using the reference and the key. So the only way for Bob to be able to get Alice's message would be to have the right first key state and a good reference. Once they do that, if Alice sends a message, Alice's key is changed now. So the only way for Bob to be able to follow Alice would be to decode Alice's message. If Bob is able to decode Alice's message and send back the checksum of the unencrypted message, meaning that they can send a proof that they have decrypted the message without the message, then Bob has the same key than Alice, and so on. And it can be in any order. Bob could send 3 messages in a row, then Alice send 3 messages in a row, and anytime if they communicate and someone decode, the keys will be at the right state. So what it means is that it's a form of synchronization. If Alice and Bob continue speaking, their key are always changing, but they keep on the loop. So it creates a way where breaking encryption gives you only the time that you have between one key and another.
How secure is the algorithm?
Well, if you want to play with maths, let's say that it is not using prime numbers or elliptic curve. Okay, so what it means is that this is not using a specific equation to create a challenge that can be computed. It's purely random. So what happened is that the only way for a computer to try to break this will be to randomly do a form of dictionary attack, meaning you're gonna try until you get it. It can also be called brute force. And so in the case of AES, let's say that you're using a 256-bit encoding, it's going to be 2 at the power of 256, the chance that you would have to guess the right AES. In our case, depending on the encoding you use, it will be the number of layer multiplied by the power of the encoding at the power of 2. So I'll give you an example. If we use a 16 bits with 2 layer, we have 2 at the power of 65,536, which is an incredibly ridiculous number that no computer is able to compute right now.
Okay, so that basically answered my question. That will be highly secure. What about computing power? Because we know everything, this concern about quantum is the power that is needed to run the technology. So, so that is my question. How are you coping with the power?
Oh, well, the algorithm itself is not that heavy and can be used on almost any computer, depending on the encoding you use. Of course, if you use very, very high encoding, it will be very computer intensive. But let's say that you keep in the normal state, like 16-bit, it's going to work more or less at the same speed than the normal.
Thank you very much, JP, for commenting on the announcement. So we are looking forward to hear more how you are going to deploy this post-encryption algorithm with different application and how you're going to commercialize this patent. Thank you. This is everything from the FINANCIALFOX. Subscribe to our channel to stay updated with all the best and all the most interesting news in the technology space.